The Star Wars trilogy was the quantum leap it represented in special visual effects. While most of the techniques used in the trilogy, such as digital matte painting and blue screens, stop motion animation, and computer-generated images had been used to a certain extent before, never had they been used so extensively throughout a picture. Practically every frame of the Star Wars film has some sort of effect added in, whether as a part of the main action or merely in the background. Unfortunately, lightsabers are not real. Like the Millennium Falcon and Yoda, lightsabers are a special effect that looks so real you actually believe they exist. The technique used to create the lightsaber effect is pretty straightforward but tedious. On the set, the actors use props composed of handles that have aluminum rods attached to them, and these rods are the length of the lightsaber blade. The handles are plastic models and the aluminum rods are painted red, green, or blue. The actors use these props as though they were lightsabers. After the film is shot, it is taken to the special effects department. The film is developed normally. In this film, the actors look like they are fighting with painted broomsticks instead of lightsabers. A special effects artist now has the job of making those broomsticks look real. The artist looks at the film frame by frame and projects each frame that contains a lightsaber onto a clear piece of plastic, also known as an animation cell. The special effects artist draws the outline of each lightsaber blade in the frame onto the cell. Then, for each frame, the artist paints in the correct color for the blade using a bright cartoon color. Eventually, the artist has a stack of these cells, one for each frame of the movie containing a lightsaber. The cells are clear everywhere except where the lightsaber blade is seen in each frame. Now, a new piece of movie film is shot. On this film, each animation cell is placed over a black background and shot with a light diffuser over the lens. This diffuser gives the lightsabers the glow they have around their edges. Before it is developed, however, the actual footage from the movie is double exposed onto this same film. The effect is amazing. The lightsabers look incredibly bright and real.
In order to produce the quantity and quality of special photographic effect shots called for in Star Wars, a complete in-house system was developed. This system included miniature model design and construction facilities, the design and fabrication of a camera motion control system, and electronic and mechanical facets. Actors were filmed in front of blue screens during many of the film's most complicated visual sequences, and producers were later able to replace the blue portions inside of each frame with a separate image. A solid and evenly lit color such as blue or green proved easy to replace with the new images. Thus, in The Empire Strikes Back, actors were able to appear inside of spaceships, speeding convincingly through an asteroid field. Miniature models, such as the all-terrain armored transports in The Empire Strikes Back, were manipulated a frame at a time, animated in front of painted backgrounds instead of the blue screen, with baking soda being used in the place of snow. Detailed cutouts were used for the background walkers. These scenes were shot at 24 frames per second, resulting in about 5 seconds of footage per day of work. Another well-known visual effect is the explosion of the Death Star in Star Wars Episode IV: A New Hope. Producer and director George Lucas planned to animate the explosion, but it looked too artificial. In order to simulate the effect of zero gravity in space, the explosion needed to be spherical. To achieve this symmetric effect, the camera was placed on the ground looking straight up, as it filmed the explosion of a black powder charge filled with titanium shavings suspended from the studio ceiling.
George Lucas also combined the latest high-tech effects with classical Hollywood techniques, such as elaborate creature costumes and even puppetry. A typical scene in the trilogy could feature a relatively normal-looking actor interacting with another actor in costume, with another being operated by an off-screen puppeteer. Yoda, for example, is performed and voiced by the master puppeteer Frank Oz, who worked for years with Jim Henson's Muppets. Yoda is widely viewed as one of the most recognizable characters ever created in a motion picture. This is largely because of the visual effects used to portray the character. Though a puppet, it is easy for viewers of all ages to look past the childish connotations of puppets to the defining character because of the way Yoda is shown on screen. Often identified as the two characters that glue all episodes of the trilogy together are R2-D2 and C-3PO. These characters are two robots that tag along with human characters and many times provide comedic relief, while at other times are the heroes of the story. The most intriguing part about the characters is the way they are shown on screen. While the audience sees two robots, it is actually live actors buried under the metal. While the audience only sees metal robots, they are drawn into the characters and are led into a deep personal connection with them because of the incredible work done by the actors portraying the characters behind the scenes through this visual effect.